The 2025 USBC Masters is over, and here's everything you need to know about the event if you ended up missing it. Quick reminder, if you want any bowling ball news, PBA news, or anything of the like, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are the #1 source on the internet for all things bowling balls, all things PBA, so make sure to subscribe, and then you'll get notified for videos like this. All right, let's get right into it. The 2025 USBC Masters, the largest professional-ish bowling tournament of the year, is done. We had a ton of competitors go out to Michigan to Thunder Bowl. It was a fantastic event, really, really crazy. Let's start off from the top. We had this brutal hourglass type oil pattern that Nick Hoagland, the mastermind behind all USBC oil patterns, created. This was weird. It seemed like he was trying to limit urethane and stop urethane, which he did, because urethane just did not work on this oil pattern. It was about 44 feet. It was pretty long. There was a ton of oil, and your ball would slow down and speed up at different parts of the lane. So you had to kind of do some wonky things. What you really needed to do is get your ball to slow down, and then just kind of, once it hooked that first time in the lighter oil in like the outside part of the hourglass, you just kind of had to float it to the pocket from there. You didn't want your ball picking up multiple times. It was a very odd bowling pattern. So you saw some weirder names at the top of the list compared to usual because of the wonkiness of the pattern. So getting into it, they cut down to a top 64 field. That 64 field was put in a double elimination bracket. The cut number was only plus 96. It was after 15 games. It only took a plus 96, so under a 210 average. This is the lowest it's taken to make a cut in the PBA this season. Very, very crazy. We had a lot of really cool, good amateurs making the cut. We had your favorite professionals making the cut. We had USBC Masters champions, Belmonte. We had Anthony Simonson. We had that guy, EJ Tackett, who's winning everything, make the cut. A lot of really cool names making it in the top 64. Then in the bracket, we had a best of 3 head-to-head bracket total pinfall matches between a ton of amazing bowlers. I'd recommend going back to watch this if you have a Bowl TV membership. There were some incredible matches. For example, Jason Belmonte got knocked 2 and out. He got knocked out early, and then in the second match, he had to go against Dom Barrett. Dom Barrett ended up winning that match and making a run to the TV show, an absolutely crazy losers bracket finish. He probably bowled about 30 games in match play or something just ridiculous, including practice. He was probably up to like 35 to 40 games that he ended up bowling to make the show. Absolutely crazy. We had a lot of really wild finishes. We saw a couple spares being missed to lose matches. We saw a couple turkeys in the 10th frame to win matches. We saw an absolutely nutty finish between EJ Tackett and Jorge Rodriguez Sosas. They ended up shooting, I believe, 750 to 740. It was about 750 to 740 for that match. That was by far one of the highest totals of the entire tournament against each other. Some people were winning matches by shooting about 560 in 3 games. So crazy, crazy game from those two. I'd recommend it. Evoke Hysteria making a run again. So at the end of the day, we had 8 players make it to a TV show, and those 8 players ended up being Nate Stubler, Bailey Maverick, Graham Fa, Dom Barrett, Justin Knowles, Bill O'Neill, Anthony Simonson, and then the eventual winner, Gary Haynes. If you haven't, make sure to go watch both TV shows. I believe they're on the Fox Sports or the PBA Tour YouTube pages, so go check those out. But some of the crazy things that had happened, Bailey Maverick had a 2 count and then spared it in his first match and almost won the match. It was absolutely crazy, really, really weird. Bill O'Neill made a fantastic run. Dom Barrett made a fantastic run. Anthony Simonson pulled out an old Alpha Crux, kind of crazy. He was throwing an Idle Cosmos most of the event, and they pulled out an Alpha Crux and then switched over to a level and a phase 2 in the championship. Gary Haynes had one of the craziest and worst games of TV possible and won. It was wild. He needed to lose twice because he was the 1 seed. He beat Anthony Simonson in the bracket to be the undefeated champion. So then on TV, he had to win 1 of 2 matches. Simo ended up beating him in the first match. I think Gary maybe hit the pocket 2 times. He was all over the place. Second match, for the first 8 frames, he maybe hit the pocket 1 time. And then he came up 9th frame, 10 back, absolutely perfect. He needed to strike out to win, or he needed good count on the 10th and a spare to shut out Simo. Simo ended up leaving a 4 count in the 10th frame to lose a lot of count. He missed the spare then, and that gave Gary Haynes a chance to win. Gary Haynes came up, threw it perfect in the 10th frame, left a stone 10 pin, I believe, and then ended up sparing it. He was a lefty, so like a stone 7 for a righty. Ended up sparing it, ended up winning the match. So huge shout out to Gary Haynes. He is a relatively unknown bowler for most of the country. So very cool to see him win. Just like Deron Booker last year winning, who was very unknown at the time, minus people who were in his general area, because they both bowl regionals, but no actual titles from them. Other bowling balls that ended up being big, especially on the TV show, were the Black Widow 3.0 and the Black Widow Mania from Bill O'Neill. He loves the Black Widow line. Dom Barrett, I believe, threw possibly a Mesmerize for a little while. Justin Knowles threw an XL for most of the day. Graham Faw tried a Purple Hammer, and it did not look good at all. This is one of the few events you can throw Purple Hammers, and it just didn't look the greatest. He was able to get 9 really well, but never could really strike. Nate Stubler just did Nate Stubler things, threw it right up the gutter. A lot of lefties did really, really well. I believe Bailey Maverick also threw the Mesmerize with the Hypnotize on different lanes, and that ball looked really good. Both of them looked phenomenal. So a lot of really good bowling on TV. Other big finishers that didn't end up making the TV show, we saw EJ Tackett take 9th place, making his dominant run continue. Deron Booker made a crazy run. He bowled well in the actual qualifying, but he didn't make the cut. But the rules of the Masters say if you won the previous year, you get an automatic bid into match play. So he got in as a 64 seed. He lost the first match against Bill O'Neill, who was the 1 seed, and then he made this crazy run to almost make the bracket. He didn't put up big scores. He put up just bigger scores than his opponents, made a crazy run. Kyle Troop again got close to the TV show, but could not make the step ladder final. Otherwise, a couple other big PBA guys. Tom Smallwood made a good run. Matt Sanders and a heck of a lot of lefties made really good runs. So really big shout out to all those guys that bowled well at the Masters this year. Otherwise, that was the USBC Masters. Wild event, some crazy finishes. One of the coolest TV shows in a very long time. But next up, we have the PBA Players Championship. Almost rounding out this season. The season is almost over, so make sure to stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, and we'll give you all the news that we can about the PBA Tour coming up, like how EJ Tackett is about a 100% chance of winning the Player of the Year race. But make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, and then thank you guys for watching.